Hariom and greetings from Niagara Falls. When it comes to matters of self-development, one of the most common questions that people ask is, how do I know that I'm developing? How do I know that my mind is becoming more balanced, more focused, and so on? And there's many examples of this from our maps of self-development, like in the Bhagavad Gita, where Prince Arjuna is asking Sri Krishna, what are the signs? What are the lakshanas of one who's independently joyous? It is one of the most powerful, one of the most famous parts of the Bhagavad Gita. If we were to take that same practice and layer it onto environmentalism, where one's mind is on the environment, what is the sign that one is growing in loving the earth, loving our earth? I came across one of these signs 2 weeks ago. I was in Cleveland, and we had our annual graduation. And at the end of the celebration, all of our Balivir teachers were given a gift. And I talked about this gift is earlier today. But what I'm highlighting right now is that this gift was not wrapped in gift wrapping, but rather was wrapped in a towel. Now, aesthetically, that's not very pleasant. Gift wrapping is much more aesthetically pleasant than a towel, but functionally, everyone can use a dish towel in their cars, to go to the gym, in the bathroom. And to me, that's a sign of how an entire community's the lifestyle is becoming more about loving our earth. And I feel that practice has come from all of us communing day after day, week after week, month after month. It was a very fulfilling experience to see environmentalism in action, to see this change in one's relationship with giving gifts. Keeping this expression in mind, I welcome all of you. I appreciate all of you that for many years now, we have been meeting to try to become even more environmentally sensitive. And all of you are so steady. When we all gathered in January, it's understandable. What else will you do on Sunday night when it's winter? And now, it's Sunday night in spring, and so many of you are here, which is really awesome. This year, our exploration in loving Earth is more systematic than ever. We are flowing through the yamas and niyamas, the yamas being the don'ts. In the first 5 months of this year, we have explored some of the, not some, we've explored all of the don'ts. We're trying to practice some of those don'ts in terms of non-compromising, in terms of non-indulging. After the don'ts are set up, the next expression of our loving earth is to get into the niyamas. The niyamas are the do's. And the way I understand the relationship between the don'ts and the do's is like in driving. Now, for all of you who drive, to turn your car on, which pedal does your foot have to be on? It has to be on the brake, correct? Then your car will turn on. So similarly, we have to set up the don'ts first, and then we can get into the do's. And that's what we're going to commence this month. Starting with Shaucha. Shaucha is a really fun and comprehensive practice. Shaucha can mean cleanliness. Shaucha can mean purity. In our community, we try to practice both through organization. The more organized one tends to be more clean, tends to be more pure. One simple practice that I try to engage in terms of Shaucha is based on Puja Swami Chinmayananda's teaching, and it's a universal teaching. A place for everything and everything in its place. There is a place for everything, correct? You don't put things that are supposed to be warm in the fridge, and vice versa. There is a place for everything, and when everything is in its place, then one can feel and think in loftier ways. When there's so much stuff everywhere and it's not supposed to be there, all of our thoughts get drained and depleted into that disorganization. So this is what I try to do. And others will say, it's because you're obsessive, it's because you're a micromanager. I don't control their intention. I know that it helps me to think, and I know you feel the same way, which is why you're here right now. Again, welcome and appreciation. Team.
Ariom, everyone. Our speaker, Ashika, is the founder of Angstrom Alpha Physical Therapy and Wellness, where she provides holistic health services to her patients and clients via physical therapy, yoga classes, Ayurveda, and lifestyle coaching. Ashika was born in Chennai, India, and grew up in the United States, leading her to cherish the traditions of her Eastern roots as well as the Western environment in which she was brought up. Ashika is currently based in the San Francisco Bay Area, where she serves Chinmaya Mission San Jose and is an active volunteer in Vivekji's communities. She loves to travel, and this hobby is what inspired her to learn to keep her lifestyle shaucha and organized. Ashika has prepared a very dynamic session for us today, so without further ado, I will hand it over to Ashika.
Ariom, thank you so much, Yashna. Vivekji has been my first guru, and being able to be here with you all is, of course, inspired by him. And I wanted to take a moment to share that the first time we did this workshop, Vivekji shared that there are 3 qualities of a space that is Shaucha, which is why we named today's workshop CSI Earth. And those 3 qualities are clean, simple, and inspiring. Are we on board with that? Shall we take some time today to make our space a little bit more clean, simple, and inspiring? Okay, I love that. So what we're going to do is dive in to understand the difference between an organized and an unorganized space. Let's all take a look away from the screen right now and just do a 360 of the room around us. Or you can close your eyes and visualize beyond the room that you're in. And whether your eyes are opened or closed, we can select one area to focus on. A cabinet, your desk, one drawer, a pile of notebooks, maybe a corner of your closet, etc. Just imagine we look at abundance as having so many things, right? But what if abundance was having so much space and so much order? And that's why here our words are clean, simple, and inspiring. So in this evening's activity, we're going to focus on observing and organizing just one area of your living space. You'll also be taking photos, so keep this in mind. If you have your phone handy, you can put it on airplane mode. We're only going to be using this device as a camera. And then we will pick that space and take a before photo. As we invoke the divine, we're going to transform disorder to order, going against entropy. So in the spirit of this energy of transformation, we'll just say one Om again together. Let's take a deep breath in. Stretching your lips into a big smile. You can gently open your eyes. Okay. Now, in terms of other materials we need, I think our Loving Earth team beautifully sent these to you all, but if you need a moment, gather 2 pens in different colors, any 2 colors, and ideally a highlighter, or it could be a 3rd colored pen. A piece of paper in front of you, and keeping in our mind that space that you've decided on. Time for our brain dump, everybody. So with your piece of paper in front of you, you're going to write down everything in that space in as much detail as you possibly can. And interestingly, this process is a mirror to how our thoughts work. Journaling is yet another act of taking the disorder of our thoughts, giving them a place to go. So don't filter yourself, just go ahead and brain dump without editing yourself every little detail about that space. We'll do this for 1 more minute. Okay. Completing our last 1 or 2 bullet points. If you're complete, let's all look at each other in the eyes with a big smile. And now see if you can make eye contact with someone else in the room with a big smile. Lovely. Okay. So now you have in front of you on this sheet of paper a bullet point list of comprehensively the different components of this space. Now we're going to sort. How? Let's begin by taking our 2 different colored pens. I'm going to use the red pen for my wants and the green pen for my needs. We're going to circle that object based on whether you would denote it a want or a need. And if you feel that it's a little bit of both, you can use both colors. But be sure to reflect on why you consider an object to be something you want or something that's more of a necessity for you, or both. And certain objects need not be circled. They are neither a want nor a need. That's fine too. We're going to take another 5 minutes. So take your time. I'll let you know when we have a minute left. All right, my dear ones, we still have 2.5 minutes, but at this point, if you finish circling your wants and your needs, we're going to move on to using your highlighter or your 3rd color. Taking a look here, highlight the objects that you feel you don't need to keep, and they might perhaps serve someone better by being cycled back into the society or back to the earth for reuse or repurposing or recycling. Take the last 30 seconds to 1 minute to look at your whole list. Wants, needs, and highlighting the things you can give back to the earth. If you've completed, let's go ahead, stretching our lips into a big smile. How's everyone feeling? Okay. It's okay if we're feeling a little uneasy right now. That's okay. Notice what's coming up as well as we're going through this process. Now, let's go ahead and grab our phones, which we've placed on airplane mode, if you'd like. And we're going to take a photograph of the space in front of you, exactly as it is. No judgment, just taking a photo of the space as it is. When you're complete, you can give me a thumbs up. Nice. Now we'll set our phone aside and looking at the space we've chosen, looking at the list that we've written, we'll set aside the objects that we'd like to give back, the things that are not truly what we need or want, things that would better serve the earth or someone else. Start taking those things and set them aside in a separate pile. When it comes to organizing, everyone, the key is simplifying. And right now, it might feel a little overwhelming or might be taking some time. As Vivekji says, there is a place for everything. Everything in its place. So what might take a little bit of effort now, it's going to allow you to have so much more ease of access when you're using that on a daily basis. So functionally and practically, this will be useful for you long term. And spiritually, observe what is happening as you start to declutter your space. We'll reflect on that later. Another piece of guidance, if you'd like, is to think of a system that speaks to you when you start organizing. Is it color coding? Is it categorizing by function or theme? Alphabetizing? For example, if you're organizing your desk, you might place all the stationery, pens, notebooks, post-it notes on one side of the desk and all of the technology items on the other side of the desk. Find your own unique way to create order from the disorder in a way that makes you feel peaceful and inspired. After you've completed, I'll let you know when it's time to take a photo of the organized space. We'll now take about 15 minutes to organize. Let's take a deep breath in and let it go. Another deep breath in and let it go. One more time, deep breath in. Let's exhale with a sigh this time. Gently opening the eyes. And let's get started organizing so that it's clean, simple, and inspiring. Keep going. We have 5 minutes left. Starting to notice their space becoming more clean and simple and inspiring. Invoking Shaucha. Notice what's happening inside you as well as you're going through this. Let's take 2 more minutes to add the finishing touches to your space. How is everyone doing? Excellent. Hariom. When I was in school, and I did a lot of school because I also went to graduate school, I was always that kid that was like working until the very end. And the teacher would say, okay, it's time for pencils down. And I would look up at her and she would look at me and say, okay, fine, 1 more minute, finish your last sentence and then pencils down. So in gratitude to that teacher, for any of you who are still working and you still have those little things that you want to do to finish up, you have more time. Take a few more extra minutes. But for those of you who are finished with your organization, with creating Shaucha in your space, please go ahead and take an after photo of your space. Ideally in the same orientation, portrait or landscape, as your before photo. Those of you that are still organizing, you have about 3 more minutes to finish the last touches and then take your after photo. All of you are part of the Loving Earth WhatsApp group, correct, team? So our next instruction will be, once you've taken your before photo and after photo, we're going to ask you to please upload both of them in the following format. Your before and after photo will start with your name. First name is fine. A space, followed by what is the area that you organized? What was the space you chose? And then followed by the word before. Again, you'll do the same thing. Another photo of your after space with your name, the area you chose to organize, and the word after. So let's take another 2 to 3 minutes to start sharing our photos in that way in our Loving Earth group. Okay, it's right about that time. Your space is exactly as it needs to be as it is right now. Now it's time to share your photos, before and after. We see several coming in already. Let's resist the urge to peek at the photos that others are sharing. There will be a chance for that later on in today's workshop. More photos are coming in, wonderful. And as you wrap up sending photos, we will now be going into breakout rooms, each of which will have one sevika helping to facilitate a discussion. The reflection questions will be, what portion of your space did you decide to work on reorganizing? And what feelings did you notice were arising inside of you during this activity and after the organization was done? Also, number 2, where did you draw the line between what you called a want and what was a need? How did you decide on what things would better serve someone else? Third, do you feel any happier or more harmonious in an environment where everything is in its place, as Vivekji shared? And 4, how can we make this kind of shaucha, this habit of organization, into a sustained lifestyle? In your group, you'll also have an opportunity to put together a group goal, which we'll share with you, everybody, as part of a dedication. All right. So with that said, team, are we ready to open up breakout rooms? All right. Welcome back, everyone. So we had brief time for discussion, but this can be an ongoing dialogue that we can have with one another in our group, and we can also have in our Loving Earth community. So before we share as a group and hear everyone's thoughts, we wanted to take a moment to start with some way we can all hear from everyone at the same time. So if any of you have ever done this, it's called a Mentimeter. What's going to happen is Yeshnaji will share her screen. And what you'll see is our first question is, how did it feel to bring Shaucha into your environment? And you can scan the QR code on your phone. You can now take it off of airplane mode. Or you can type in menti.com on your computer browser and use the code 5837-6175. And we can all share one word. How did it feel to bring Shaucha into your environment? Healing, lighter, cleansing, happy and joyful, liberating. Great. Easeful, like easy evenings, right? Peaceful and fresh. Lovely. Beautifully shared, everyone. And if we're not using the Mentimeter, if it's not coming up for you for any reason, feel free to write into the chat. How did it feel to bring Shaucha into your environment? And we'll now move on to our second question. We're wondering, what did today's activity reveal to you about your relationship with the earth? Feel free to use the Menti or use the chat. What did today's activity or exercise reveal to you about your relationship with the earth? We take more than we actually need. I have so much more than what I need. I am so connected to the earth. What a burden we are to the earth. Isn't that true? Which gives us an opportunity, right? A responsibility to change the narrative, to be lighter and have a lighter touch. Seva isn't about theory, it's about practice. I respect Mother Earth and I'm very careful about what is the minimum I need to live. Giving more than what we take, as Gurudev says. The earth is so gracious and giving. We need to love her with just as much sincerity back. Be mindful and live lightly. And in our chat, be mindful when you acquire things. Fewer things means more space. Lovely. Beautifully shared, everyone. Thank you so, so much. Now what we'll do is we'll invite one volunteer from each group to unmute and share what did you brainstorm as your group's goal. So for example, I will nominate Binduji from group 1 to share what we decided on as a group.
Rio. So, as a group, we decided to cut out single-use plastic utensils, um, which for me is not a very difficult thing to do because we already we carry steel stuff wherever we go, even to work and everywhere. So, but it was a nice thing to do. Yeah. I hope.
Yeah. Thank you, Binduji. So if anyone wants to join group number 1, we'll be taking this day onward to bring a fork or a spoon in our pockets whenever we go out to eat, rather than using single-use plastic. From group 2, can I invite Sudarshan to share?
I I don't think we made a specific decluttering goal, but just based on our sharing from the group, a lot of us struggle with attachment to objects that we're trying to get rid of. It's almost like exactly when we're trying to get rid of them, all the old attachments start flowing in, and that's when we realize, oh, I have a hard time letting go of this. But we
Yes.
also realize, yeah, sorry, we just realized that the less you have, the more fully you use what you have, and the less you have, the lighter you feel. So we kind of made it our goal, but to have less choices in our clothes, in our books, in our items, so that we just have more mental space for what's more important.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sudarshan, for sharing. Less we have, better we use it. Can we hear from Rupali ji from group 3?
Yeah, Hari Om. So we didn't actually make a goal, but we we were on the same page, all three of us, Vanita ji and Sadashiva ji, that, sometimes we are in so many classes and we don't realize we have so many notes and we have so many papers. So how about we don't wait for that stage to come, so that there is a pile? Why don't we do it right away, fix it? So if we have to take care of some notes or revise or whatever, so do it and keep it where it should be. So that was something we kind of decided. And yeah.
Thank you, Rupali ji. So beautifully expressed. And can we hear from Ramrajji in group 4?
Hari Om. I think we are just kind of just following through on what we have already started. I think that's our goal. So, for
Good.
we collected some unused, not needed electronics, just, going through with it and getting it to go. And then today
Lovely.
we did some cleansing or cleaning our spaces. So continue doing that through the, you know,
I like that, Ramrajji, because Rupali ji had shared to be proactive, prevent the clutter from accumulating, and you're sharing to finish what we started. So we have the two bookends. Wonderful. And thank you all of the groups for your reflections and your sharing. Before we close, we'll take a moment here to show a few of the before and after photographs, which you can also go and enjoy at your own time. Here from Vinita ji, we have her study area before and her study area after. She cleared away so many non-usable pens and minimized the clutter in the space. We have Yeshna ji's space before and Yeshna ji's space after. Oh my goodness. Isn't that lovely? I felt like my whole body relaxed when I clicked this. So nice. And here we have Rupali's space before. Oh, very nice. Oh my goodness, Rupali's space after. My gosh, this is lovely. We have Ram's space before and Ram's space after. Ah, you can feel it. So nice. And we're looking forward to more of you all sharing. Thank you for all of those you who shared already. And we'll close now by remembering that throughout today's workshop, we've learned that our surroundings, right? They influence the quality of our own mind. So when we're continuing to learn the yamas and niyamas with Vivekji, we're starting by pressing the brake, right? And understanding the don'ts. How can we incorporate minimalism, structure, and stillness into our environment so that that same quality permeates into our minds? Hopefully, this activity brought you all some newfound peace, brought a smile to your face, and it can also impact not only you and your mind, but the members of your household in your environment. Remember that outer peace, inner peace, all contributes to your independent joy. Thank you all so much for participating, and we'll turn it over to our team for closing announcements.
Thank you, Ashika, Hariom. I'm really, really excited to continue doing this throughout this month, and hopefully that continue what we're doing and then be proactive as Rupali shared going forward. So as Ashika has shared, we would love to hear, excuse me, everyone share throughout this month how this is going for you. And, it's a great community feel when we can see these pictures. So lovely sharing from everyone. We do have an announcement for next month. Our next value is going to be Svadhyaya, which we're taking as a practice to understand. And the topic is going to be on plastics and health. So not only learning about that, but also understanding how deep our sort of dependence is on that, and what are the ways that we can try to minimize all of that in our day to day. We also will have a kickoff for our next initiative for Efforts for Awe, which we're always excited about in terms of giving our time and effort and also supporting organizations that are doing wonderful work. So we'll see everyone next month. We'll connect on WhatsApp. The workshop will be on Sunday, July 6th. Hariom, everyone. Thank you, Ashika. Hariom, Vivekji. We'll see everyone on WhatsApp and next month. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Have a good evening.